The workshop on medium and long-term interventions to address water challenges in Nelson Mandela Bay is still underway in Gqeberha. The discussions led by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mchunu, has seen various stakeholders share their views on possible strategies to reduce the effects of the 7-year-long drought in the Eastern Cape province. SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi is tracking the story for us.
Very good afternoon. The one thing the Minister of Water and Sanitation has emphasized during his proceeding this afternoon was that it is important that the Metro has long, sustainable plans in place to ensure the Metro doesn't dive deeper into water challenges. One thing it did emphasize was that is beyond just ensuring that there is enough boreholes, that there's restrictions, there's water meters in stores. The Metro has to ensure it does a collaborative effort between business, the private sector, NGOs, and as a team fight day zero. Joining me this afternoon is a man who knows all the ins and outs of water in the Metro. He's Barry Martin, the head of water and sanitation in the Metro. Barry, the minister emphasized a lot on the importance of ensuring we have long-term sustainable plans in place to ensure the Metro doesn't go deeper into water challenges. Just as a municipality, what plans do you have in place long-term now to ensure that 5 or 10 years from now we're not coming back to the same problem?
Okay, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners. Firstly, yes, it's been quite a productive session this morning, and the input from the ministers and from the department, as well as our international guests, obviously focused on the reliable water supply for the NMBM. And from a physical reliability point of view, the NMBM is looking at developing what we term a water mix. Currently, our water supply system is supplied from about three essential areas: the surface dams in the western side, our water transfer through Nooitgedacht from the Gqeberha Dam, as well as the borehole development, historic artesian development of the Utenek Springs located in Gqeberha. With that in mind, you can just see there are just 3 areas of water. Going into the future is to expand that water mix and to actually add more elements to it, meaning developing groundwater more and taking that to something like 50 megalitres per day in future. Looking at the recycling of wastewater, the Gqeberha SEZ requires a lot of water, but a lot of that water is not for drinking but for industrial purposes. So their long-term water requirement is 110 megalitres of non-drinking water. So obviously that is ideally suited to come from our wastewater treatment works, and then also use some of the water from wastewater treatment works for, call it urban agriculture, like what is currently being done at the universities and some of the golf courses and like, but to expand that even further, and then ultimately to take that even further and to take the recycled wastewater, take that to drinking water standards in the long term, but also then the desalination of seawater, and also taking that in terms of a paradigm shift, because there are not many more dams in the country to be developed. The dam earmarked here for us is actually the Gqeberha Dam, which is located on the Gqeberha Dam in any case, and by the presentation by the Department of Water and Sanitation indicating there's a chance of up to 30% less water running down in the dams. Is that a viable intervention then going forward? Then the desalination of seawater then becomes very significant in the water mix going forward. And if we are able to put that into the same supply system coming from the dams during that drought period, it actually means that the low dam levels that you might be experiencing now is offset. The demand from that is offset from a desal plant. That means that the low rainfall that you might be experiencing now is carried over as more water from a desal plant into the next rainy period. And so in future, I foresee a desalination plant will actually be a permanent water supply system in future, not only like some of our coastal towns. We have a lot of holiday makers coming in from time to time, but then you only have spikes of water during those holiday periods. But here I see a desal plant supplying consistent water, and the cyclical movements of low and above normal rainfall is then taken up by the dams, and that bring a more sustainable way actually to run a desal plant as well in future.